What's up, everyone? It's your lawyer, Jobber Godot, and today I brought a special guest with me. Tyler, come here, bro. Come in. Yeah, today we're just gonna be.
Oh my god!
Oh.
What's good, everyone?
Yes.
We're talking about Peak, and we're not talking about anime Peak. We ain't talking about JoJo's. We're talking about Cobra Kai!
Cobra Kai never dies!
God!
Yes, Cobra Kai never dies. That's what we're talking about today. Let's get it.
I want the truth and nothing but the truth.
This is awesome. So yeah, I just wanted to come drop by. Like, we're not doing some anime shit. Like, take a mini break from JoJo's because I want to talk about another series I hold dear. I love this series, like Cobra Kai, right? You know, I've been watching it on Netflix for quite a bit. I've watched all 5 seasons, and even before watching Cobra Kai, I watched the Karate Kid, like, you know, movies with my dad, right? Like, all 3 of them. I was like, oh yeah, these are pretty damn good. Like, what was it? I do like at least the stories they tell with, like, for example, like Daniel, right? At least he's like the underdog of the story. He gets his little crane kick off. It's a big moment in his history. And then you just got Mr. Miyagi being like mysterious and badass, right? The things that we love about the series. And I feel like it's very great to see this specific series come back, right? And I didn't expect it to come back with, like, let's say, for example, Johnny being the main character. I was like, whoa, this is interesting. I was like, they're starting with Johnny. It's like, okay, so this guy, he's at the lowest point in his life. He's like, okay, fuck, man, like, that kick ruined my life. And then this kid's like, yo, stop jobbing. And he's like, damn, okay. And then we get the whole series kicking off, right? And, oh, man, I just really like this series. Like, I think one of the most interesting things is the way they bring back, like, some of these characters. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be spoiling, like, all of these seasons. So if you haven't watched any of these seasons, like,
it's a season 5 review, bro. This ain't the Cobra Kai review, bro.
Yep. Like, come on, we're gonna talk about everything here. Like, for example, so Mr. Miyagi, or at least the actor in real life, passed away. Rest in peace, right? And
R.I.P.
Yep. And we see, like, his influence, at least the presence of him in the series. Like, he's always constantly mentioned. He's always, like, constantly seen, like, you know, gravestones and, like, pictures. Like, he's definitely made a massive impact in the story. He's done some crazy ass shit. Like, Mr. Miyagi's catching, like, arrows, like, some songs, by the way, and, like, he's just, like, breaking beams with his bare hands. He's like he's like a fucking legend, right? Even actually, crazy thing, I don't even know if Tylearn knows about this, but, like, Mr. Miyagi's, like, referencing different series, like, cartoons and shit, like Mason Moore Gumball. They're like, yo, did you get taught by Mr. Miyagi? Like, what? That's real.
He's literally the GOAT, man. He's always being mentioned in fiction.
Yep, he's the GOAT. But at least back to the main story of, like, Cobra Kai, I at least like the parallels to how, let's say, for example, we get the new generation, right? With, like, we got all technology and stuff. Let's say with was it, yeah, Miguel, right? For example, Miguel, and it kind of repeats, the history repeats itself in a sense where Johnny is teaching Miguel how to defend himself and all that type of jazz, and then Daniel's like, yo, bro, you bring Cobra Kai back, this is bad. And then it starts the whole cycle kind of all over again, where, like, okay, essentially Miguel is, like, going through, like, at least the things that Daniel went through, just at least in a modern day, right? With the whole, like, misunderstandings, all that type of jazz. And I find it interesting how they kind of at least broke that sort of curse later on down the seasons with, like, season 5 with, like, Robbie and Miguel kind of, like, just chilling out, right? Like, they basically they beat the shit out of each other, and you're like, okay, I understand, alright, respect, alright. Like, that's how it goes. Like, okay, so they broke the cycle, and Daniel and Johnny break the cycle. I mean, them fighting and eventually just getting along. So, okay, that's like all pretty chill. But one thing that stands out to me about, like, I think the strongest part about this series, once again, is the old characters coming back, right? And we can see them develop and just become anew, right? Is when, let's say, okay, so new season, Daniel is at the lowest point in his life because Terry Silver is back and he's ruining his life again. And, you know, Terry Silver just beats his ass. He just beats his ass and he just makes him give up. And, like, all of Johnny's, like, let's just call him, let's say, I don't know, villains or whatever, right? And keep in mind, they're friends with him now, and you're like, oh shit, he just made Danielle give up? No, we're not having that. No. We're gonna take this man down, right? And they go to, like, beat up Terry Silver's, like, you know, cronies or senseis, right? On just Danielle's behalf. Even though Daniel doesn't want them to do it. They just do it anyways. But my favorite part is how they remark about the past, right? And there's like, man, like that kid's such a dork, right? And this and that, like they're talking about dating, like, oh, he's such a dork. He's like, yeah, he's a pain in the ass. But they're like, you know what? But we respect him because the guy just stands true to his ideals, right? Like, he beat her ass, right? And so at the end of the day, it's like respect. And I don't really see it too much in like many series where, let's say, like a group of villains that the heroes already beat, were just like band together after the heroes like beaten, or not only just like physically but mentally against
the growth is just it's insane, because not only does Cobra Kai, we get another perspective, we get the perspective on Johnny's behalf. Like, we do see Danny being kind of a brat in Karate Kid, right? Like, if you rewatch it with the Cobra Kai mentality, you're like, damn, they're both kind of wrong. But with Johnny's perspective, Danny literally could not get over it. And the fact that over the course of the seasons, we see him become not only a better person, but he actually becomes a father for the son that he was never there for. He finds a person that's actually perfect for him, and it turns out to not be Ali, because this does happen a lot in fiction. It's like, oh yeah, the one person you think is like your true love, it's really not, but deep down it's someone else in your life, right? Which applies to Ali and Carmen. And honestly, that love aspect, I feel like, was perfectly executed for season 3, and it not only allowed Danny and Johnny to get over it. Like, it's not just like, oh, you took my girlfriend, which is like kind of corny. And let's be real, like, Cobra Kai does have a lot of moments where it isn't realistic, right? Like the Sam and Miguel drama, all that dumb stuff. But with season 5, and I feel like even like before this, like season 4 set it up, right? And then season 5 executed this. But I feel like we just get our characters actually feeling like real people. Like, Johnny becomes a father, and with that, he's literally like, bro, why do I have to go and fight Terry Silver? I'm a grown man, I'm trying to help my people, and I lost. I'm gonna take my loss like a man this time. And so, when we see Danny at the lowest point calling Johnny a pussy, it's literally just a swip swap of what happened in the earlier seasons, with Johnny being the one trying to get Danny aggressive. But now we see Johnny maturing, and then we also see by the end of the finale that Danny also grows, his resolve comes back, and he's able to use not only his own method against Silver, but he's able to also just apply Miyagi-Do and completely outclass him. And like what Jabber was saying, the old characters coming back, Mike Barnes literally did not have a character trait. He was the equivalent to that of like Nappa from Dragon Ball. He was just a gorilla. And the fact that I thought he was going to come back, everybody thought he was coming back, obviously, and everyone assumed that he was just going to be a goon for Terry because it's easy like that. But no, Mike Barnes is actually a realistic person, and after that happened and Terry just like abandoned him, even though that whole contract thing happened, Mike was at his lowest point, and he managed to find a passion in something else. And I like that, because not everyone that like gets into karate, right, or you find a passion, you're not going to always stick with it, right? And I feel like Mike helping out Danny when needed, and him just being a normal guy, is such a good thing for the character, and actually gives him like multiple layers, right? And for Chosen was a complete ape. He was like Johnny, but he was like, oh yeah, you disrespect me. Oh, you disrespect my honor. You're gonna die.
Yeah, Drew.
Like, he put Danny in like Danny and Johnny had like a tournament beef. Danny was put in a position with Chosen where he had to fight him to the death, and he won. And him seeing that Danny managed to show mercy, that put him at a completely low point. But instead, he managed to find himself with karate, which makes sense because he's all about that with honor. And instead of being a rat, you know, we see him as a kid putting in bags so that he doesn't hurt his hand when punching sand. We see Chosen trying to off-guard Miyagi with other people, trying to jump him and Danny. But now we see him actually grow, and he actually manages to find the true definition of honor, and that honor manages to give him peace with himself. And I love how he's able to also guide Danny when he's at his lowest point, telling him to calm down, when Chosen is the one who should be the one being told to calm down.
Yeah.
Like, these 4 characters specifically are all from the Karate Kid trilogy, and Cobra Kai manages to enhance these characters exponentially. It's crazy. And this also applies to people like John Kreese, who didn't really have a background Like in Karate Kid, like at best it was like, oh damn, he got homeless and now he's just a gorilla again. But we see him like actually having mental trauma. And then we also see Terry Silver having that trauma and him coming back and him believing that Cobra Kai was the worst thing to ever happen to him, and then coming to that realization that it's actually the best is an arc similar to that of like Chosen's, right? But with Cobra Kai and Terry Silver, it's a completely different twist, and he has no honor at all. He doesn't care. He does whatever he takes to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Cobra Kai just genuinely enhances all these old characters like a lot. And like what I was saying as well with the drama, the season 2 drama is basically gone by the end of the season, with Sam and Tori squashing their beef, Miguel and Robbie squashing their beef. It's great.
Yeah, it's definitely great, like, to see all the development and, like, everyone, like, squashing their beefs and stuff like that. And, like, to put more shine on that point with, like, Tylearn made about the old characters, I think that is, like, the most, like, I think, defining point, because, don't get me wrong, the new characters are a blast, right? Like, we get to see the, like, stories and stuff. But the main, like, attraction is definitely these old characters coming back and we get to see more refined, right? Now, I'm not gonna lie. When I saw Mike Barnes appear in the newest season, like, I didn't expect it. I didn't know anything.
Bro,
I
so early, bro.
I was
so
like,
early.
yo! I was screaming. I was like, yo, Mike Barnes! I didn't expect it at all. I was like, holy shit, he's here. And it just felt nice to see him. He was like, oh, it's just normal dude, right? And he just has like a life beyond just like karate. He found more things, making it at least multi-dimensional, right? But then when, you know, Terry, like, you know, just Terry comes in, he just kind of like ruins his life. He then comes back later with a fury, okay? He's mad, he's pissed, he's lost everything.
Old Mike Barnes returns with him, bro.
Yeah, he just like hijacks the car. That's like, okay, that's like some old Karate Kid like movie shit. Like he really hijacks a limo. I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro is playing GTA in real life, bro.
Yeah. Bro, I'm not gonna lie, that, like, the dialogue with, you know, just him in general is just hilarious when he's just super angry. And, like, he's talking to Daniel. Daniel's like, yo, listen, you're like, you gotta calm down. He's like, he's like, bro, like, what do you want me to sit here and take it like a bitch? No, we're gonna fucking kick his ass. I was like, yo, like, I'm down for it. Like, bro, if I was there, come on. I would be with him, like, all the way. Like the other guys were. And then, like, when he goes to confront Terry, he says, like, I don't give a fuck what that guy stands for or believes in. I'm gonna knock his ass out. Then I'm gonna knock you out. I'm like, this guy is built different. Oh, man.
Great, man.
I just love his character and how they just, like, reintroduced him. I hope to see definitely more of him in, like, I guess the next season or movie, I heard, apparently. But, yeah, just, what a blast to see him again. And also, seeing Terry, like, again, because we've already seen, like, let's say, like, the past season where he got reintroduced because of Priest, right? And it's definitely crazy to see just kind of Terry go back into his crazy side, like in the old Karate Kid movies. Because I'm not gonna lie, that guy in the old movies, Terry, back then, Karate Kid movies, that guy's fucking insane. He had to have been doing drugs or some shit.
He was doing
cocaine. Yeah, he's doing cocaine.
He's a crack addict, bro.
Yeah, I was like, damn, this guy is just, I don't know, he's fucking insane. That's the way to put it. Like, shoo, dude. But at least let's go back to the, let's say the new characters, for example. Let's say, like, I think the main highlights of the new characters can definitely be, like, say, Robbie, Miguel, Hawk, and all the other people, right? And when it comes to Robbie and Miguel's, like, rivalry, it's usually just based off of just them, like, kind of like wanting approval from Johnny. Like, it's like, oh, like, you know, Miguel sees Johnny as a father figure, and then, you know,
either that,
like,
or they're
jealous.
just taking, like, each other's girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, that too. Once again, repeating the cycle of, like, the first movie, where I was like, oh, well, like, same exact shoes. And, man, I'm not gonna lie, I did like the first fight between, like, let's say, Robbie and Miguel, like, at the, I think this is the part of the series where everything was, like, escalating to, like, new heights, where they had this huge fucking fight in that school. And I was like, holy fuck, what am I, like, watching? I didn't expect that.
The difference between season 1 and 2 is actually crazy, like, in terms of, like, scale.
Yeah, like, it just, like, gets huge, like, we get the consequence, like, oh shit, he
actually, if you think about it, it's kind of like the scale from Karate Kid 1 to Karate Kid 2. It was a tournament fight, and then it was a literal, like, IRL fight. It's not a tournament anymore.
Yeah, it's like, fight to the death, like, okay, this is such
and
a
then season 3
fight.
got even crazy, like, honestly, that's kind of crazy to think about, that the scale might be just similar to that of the Karate Kid movies. kind of interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely pretty interesting to say the least. You know, okay, so I think was it one of the characters that definitely got the most shine out. Let's say in the new generation, outside of like Rob and Miguel, is definitely Hawk. I think we could definitely agree on that shit. Come on,
Hawk was great this season. I'm just a little upset that he wasn't as good as other characters. Like in terms of like the main 5 kids, right? Like Sam, Tori, Miguel, Robbie, and Hawk. Hawk was the worst one in this season for sure.
Yeah, because he didn't get too much chance to shine or something like that.
Yeah, that and also his main arc was in season 4, so it is respectable. And Sam and Tori and Robbie and Miguel's whole rivalry was the start of it all, right? Like,
yeah,
season 1 was mainly just the Miguel and Robbie stuff, and Sam was already involved with that. But then, Tori just got with Miguel. Sam like Miguel, but then she was with Robbie. It was a complete. It was a mess. But
it sounded a mess.
Yeah, exactly. And these kids are teenagers, so it's kind of typical for these guys to be idiots. But when we see them grow over the course of the seasons, like they're in their last year of high school, thinking about college and stuff, we get to see that these guys are actually mature with one another, and we get to see Tori, the character who was like, oh, you kissed my boyfriend? I'm gonna murder you, tries to go up to Sam and apologize to her.
Yep. That's definitely great character development right there.
And then Sam, too. Sam was just a whole mess. Like, season 1 through 2, Sam was really bad as a character. It wasn't good.
Yeah.
Because at first, it was like, okay, she might believe that Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai don't have to be opposites, right? Because she's with a Cobra Kai. But Danny's like, oh yeah, stay away from them. And then she just automatically is against Cobra Kai, which kind of sucks. But then we see her in season 4 literally defending herself against Danny for using Eagle Fang. And it's crazy because Eagle Fang actually allows Sam to not only be fearless, but also try and take a stand against Tori. And then we also see her going berserk in season 5, you know, over the Miguel stuff. But we get that handled. Like, I'm so glad when Miguel made out with that girl or whatever and Sam saw, Sam didn't, like, just break it off with Miguel completely. And she understood. Miguel said sorry, and she was like, you didn't have to be sorry. Because they're not together anymore. Yep. But let's say that happened in season 2.
Oh, God.
Even if she was with Robbie, she would have lost it.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm so sick of that corny drama, because that is, like, honestly what kind of makes season 2 the worst season of Cobra Kai, and what kind of holds it back from the other seasons, because that little drama, and it's super petty, but we see it get resolved in this season, and these characters are actually acting real.
Yes, because I definitely agree with that, because I do think that when it comes to the little love drama, I do feel like at least Sam, it does get a little bit unbearable. I'm like, oh my god, please don't, no.
Yeah, bro. She was like to Robbie, you broke my heart right with Miguel at prom. Like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like,
but
what?
I love seeing them like talk, right? And Miguel and Hawk are like, oh damn, are they gonna get together? But Miguel's like, nah, chill, they're just friends. And it's cool because Sam and Robbie as friends, I guess they do have really good chemistry with each other. In season 5, we get to see Robbie and Sam actually being friends with one another, rather than them just saying, oh, you broke my heart, oh my god. Like, Robbie and Sam's relationship is arguably one of the worst points in Cobra Kai, like, for sure. Like, yeah. Tanner, that's another thing as well, a little off topic, but Tanner evolved so much as an actor for me, because I did not like Robbie that much between season 1 and 2, and he evolved. I didn't like Sam between season 1 and 2, she evolved. I liked Tori, but she was just insane, and now she's a realistic character. And Miguel let that rage get to him, but then he manages to learn the difference between honor and mercy. And despite being at such a low point, he comes back up, and then we get a whole different arc with him, which a lot of people like to say that Miguel in season 4 is trash, but we get a realistic arc because Johnny is his father figure. And to see that he hasn't even met his father, and for him to explore that, and then at the end of the day, Johnny is still his father figure, it's a beautiful story, and it's not just lazy writing.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the Guardians of the Galaxy quote will fit the whole, like, Miguel and, like, Johnny thing. Like, in, what was it? Miguel's real father is like, Johnny's like, you know, he may have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy, right?
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. Like, I don't know, that guy was, like, on some Breaking Bad shit. Maybe he's with the Salamancas. Who knows?
Well, bro, he has the drip of the Salamancas, bro. It actually makes sense.
Exactly.
Yo, what if Miguel went to Albuquerque instead, bro?
Whoa.
Gustavo Fring, bro.
Yeah, Gustavo Fring, he fights
I'm about to do that, bro. I'm about to make that.
He just goes over there. That should be crazy.
It's Johnny Lawrence and Heisenberg. Say my name.
Say my name.
Who are you?
That'd be crazy. Oh my god.
What else in season 5 do you like, Jobber?
Oh, what else in season 5 do I like? Honestly, I think the fight choreography has definitely gotten way better. Like, because it always gets better per season, right? Like, we get some really nice fights.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean,
I feel like every finale fight upgrades.
yeah, especially like Daniel versus like Terry. That was pretty damn good.
So good. And then the Johnny with the senseis.
Mm-hmm.
Chosen versus Terry. I also like that about Cobra Kai. It's like a lot of characters have a lot of dynamics, and we get to see them parallel off of other characters. And each character has a different dynamic with one another, which I know may seem like really confusing, and it might be like, oh, you're just stretching it. You're trying to make Cobra Kai better than what it is. But who would have thought that Tori and Chosen would be weirdly connected with Honor? You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think that. And Sam and Johnny are weirdly like being in common with one another, and then Sam using Cobra Kai to better herself, which no one would have honestly expected. And the fact that Robbie has his own dynamic with each and every individual sensei in the series that we've seen, it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely to see these characters like definitely like mash and like intertwine with each other in different like at least beliefs, you know?
Bro, even Anthony and Kenny have dynamics that compare them to that of Johnny and Danny. Like, it's crazy to see that modern day happening, but it's swip-swapped. The LaRusso is being the bully now.
Yep, it's flip-flopped. That another interesting point that at least glad that the writers did. Like, ooh, this makes things a lot more interesting. Like, it's like basically through like, you know, Daniel's like, I guess, actions or paranoid actions against like Cobra Kai and like Johnny, he kind of just like indirectly creates like the cycle. But instead of it just being like Cobra Kai doing this, no, it's you just don't realize it.
And then Robbie, who is like Danny's prodigy, is helping Kenny, trying to guide him, basically being his Miyagi. And Kenny, let's be real, is literally like Karate Kid 1 Danny, because that Danny, he was down to just beat up Johnny and stuff, but Miyagi was the one holding him back, and he was teaching him the lessons and philosophy of Miyagi-Do. But for Kenny, from his perspective, he was training with a Robbie who was at his lowest point and his most rageful. So obviously that would affect his fighting style, and he became the bully. Like, all these new characters, even Devin, like, it's weird. Like, Chris, Kyler, all these characters who were just kind of like funny, quippy characters at the beginning of seasons 1 and 2 actually evolve into their own.
Yeah, and I think the main thing about like all these characters like growing and evolving, right, and like basically people teaching each other different like ways, right. Once again, it all goes back to like Mr. Miyagi, because you just really feel his presence like always. Essentially,
for sure,
especially the way they're taught. Miyagi-Do, like, it's always living on. Like, it's gonna have like those are the tree branch examples. Miyagi-Do has strong roots, like never gonna go away, really. You know, that's definitely the for sure about that. You know, actually, okay, my theory for like the next like at least season or like movie, right, for like Cobra Kai, right, when they continue it more, is, or at least the finale, like let's say the series finale. And okay, this might be headcanon, but listen, this is gonna be some Star Wars shit. So I think I told Tylearn this, but bro, wouldn't it be crazy, right?
Bro, it's not gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. Like, bro, it's gonna happen, bro. Listen.
All right, buddy, you can tell him.
All right. So basically, imagine like Daniel's in his final fight, right? This is a series finale fight, and it could be up against anyone. Let's say like I don't know, Terry, or maybe even Kreese, right? And then like all of a sudden, like, you know, basically Daniel's gonna do his final move, right? And let's just say maybe it's either the crane kick or something even more iconic of Mr. Miyagi's moves that he's gonna pull off, right, to finish this fight off. And then all of a sudden, like, let's say for this example, Kreese, right? Kreese is just gonna see like all of a sudden like Miyagi's fucking ghost behind Daniel, like some Star Wars shit.
It's not gonna happen.
And then they're gonna mirror.
Obi-Wan
yeah,
Kenobi,
he's gonna Obi-Wan Kenobi this shit, bro. That would be crazy. And then he just like does the crane kick.
I do. Okay. Instead of the spirit thing, they should like at least have Danny like flash back to Miyagi's moves, I guess. Maybe doing the two-legged kick or something.
Yep. Oh, that'd be crazy. At least that's my prediction. It's crazy as fuck, but shoot, man. Oh wait. More connection, more plausibility. They did what was it? And I think it was season 3 where basically Robbie turned to like the Cobra dark side, right? Because of Kreese. I think they did have a track called like Duel of Snakes, which is like cross of like Duel of Fates from Star Wars.
my
So
God,
I'm just
Duel of
saying,
Fates.
there's a connection here. There's a connection.
That is a crazy connection. I love it.
It's
But it's
awesome.
crazy. Honestly, it's kind of crazy to think that Cobra Kai's reputation is like you can argue it's just as impactful to the movie and like TV show industry to that of like Star Wars, and it's great. I'm surprised that someone who knows karate is like as high as people exploring the universe or just as interesting as that, and it's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird, but like, shoo, I'm definitely glad this series is just exists, right? It's crazy that it came from like YouTube, like what was it, Premium or something, and it managed to get on Netflix. I was like, yo, that's crazy, absolutely crazy. That's like a passion project that's like turned into reality, right? Well, that is about all we got to talk about for right now. I think we kind of covered all bases with all the Cobra Kai stuff, right? Once again, I would like to thank Tylearn for hopping on here, bro, because I'm just so happy to talk about
thank
this.
you for allowing me to come on the channel, man. Talk about Cobra Kai, man. I love the series.
I love it too. Always watch your content, man. Content's the bomb. Why don't you plug yourself, man? You gotta plug yourself in.
Tylearn for the Cobra Kai stuff, Tylearn for the anime stuff. Come on now. And y'all better subscribe to Jobber, bro. What are you guys doing now, bro? Get the best JoJo's content on here, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, man.
Him and metas, bro.
Yep, making the metas correct. Oh!
I swear to God. Oh my God!
Alright. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Even though it's non-JoJo related, I'm glad we got a little bit more space for JoJo. Don't worry, next upload will be JoJo related. But yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'll see y'all later. Peace out.
They build different Spider-Man modes. It's a word. Summer about